Hello, my name is Fernando Bezares. I am an environmental engineer specialized in GIS and remote sensing in CESE4 Foundation. And in MaiL project, I worked in the task 4.2, carbon sequestration in the marginal lands. And in this lesson, we will review the direct carbon estimations comprised by the destructive and non-destructive methods. To begin with, we will talk about the direct methods and the measurements on field. There are two methods of tree biomass estimation. The destructive method implies harvesting, drying, and weighting the different components of the tree, and therefore destroying the element of study. On the other hand, the non-destructive method consists in the estimation of the tree biomass without felling it, for instance, by obtaining optic dendrometers or directly measuring different tree components such as tree, branches, poles, etc., by climbing onto the tree. Within the non-destructive methods, a common way to estimate the tree biomass and its components is by applying allometric equations based on correlations between biomass and morphological characters such as basal diameter, height, canopy diameter, or canopy volume. The development and use of allometric equations is the standard methodology for the estimation of tree, plot, and regional above-ground biomass. Frequently used methods of calculation of total above-ground biomass and carbon storage based on allometric equations method are recorded as the species-specific equations method based on calculating stem volume, stem mass, and use of allometric equations for other tree component for specific species. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change method, where species-specific carbon sequestration values are proposed for each species. A set of compiled diameter-based allometric regression equations for estimating total above-ground biomass. Or modified meta-analysis of equations selected from literature based on applicability for estimating biomass from only diameter measurements to estimate the biomass of individual trees and or branch, bole, bark, or foliage components. Another direct method is the forest inventory. We will explain the case of forest inventory for the UK. According to the UK Forest Research Centre, carbon levels in forestry are accounted for through the following direct processes: the periodic direct measurements of carbon in the forestry stock, which are composed by full surveys. The full survey of the growing stock in permanent forest samples, the plot-based surveys based on defining the area of land relevant to the exercise and the breakdown of this land into homogeneous stand, and the two-stage survey. The plot-based assessments are used in the analysis of survey data to quality assure and calibrate the more comprehensive abbreviated assessments, the combination of the full survey and plot-based survey. Next method considered by the UK Forest Service is the sample-based inventory of carbon accounting. This method is very suitable for the estimation of carbon stock in very large forest estates or woodlands. The main steps to performing a comprehensive carbon assessment are defining an area to be assessed, appropriately subdividing the area into strata, deriving an assessment using the suitable sampling method and generate estimation of the tree stem volume for each species or species group, estimating for each stand of trees making up the growing stock, the allocation of biomass in different parts of the tree, and finally converting the biomass estimates to their carbon equivalents. Finally, we have the direct carbon flux measurements. This approach directly measures the net flow of carbon into or out of the forest. The advantages is that a net flux is measured, accounting for all carbon pools, including deadwood and litter, and other fractions which prove difficult to measure using a stock change net. Provides a validation for inventory-based carbon stock assessments and forest growth models. And finally, performs an analysis of the change of the magnitude of the pools. The disadvantages are their high cost and then the smaller number of flux stations. Thank you for your attention. If you have any question, please refer to me in this email.